I'm Thomas Smith, and I'm here today taking a look at the Essential Jewish Baking Cookbook. This is by Beth Lee, and it's a really great cookbook covering all kinds of different traditional Jewish baked dishes. So it's Hanukkah right now, and my family is celebrating, and this is a really great book to give you kind of a background in some of the classics that you would have on Hanukkah or on Rosh Hashanah or on other major Jewish holidays. And Beth Lee is the founder of the OMG Yummy blog, so she is very well versed in creating these really engaging recipes. She also lives in the Bay Area like me. And I love that there's a beginning sort of intro to some of these traditional Jewish dishes. And then we get into things like challah. There's really great photos, walking through each of the steps. These are sometimes kind of complex recipes, but there's a lot of good detail, good descriptions here, and a bit of background about where these fit into the Jewish calendar, and also some important things like whether they're parv, so neutral, or if they have dairy or meat or anything in them. So essential things you would need depending on who you're serving here. And yeah, I love that we've got, hamantashen, we've got all kinds of traditional items in here, and it just gives you that basic background in these kinds of items. But for Hanukkah, one of the most traditional ones is Sufganiyot. These are fried jelly donuts, and Hanukkah is known for the miracle of oil lasting for 8 nights, and this is a reason to eat things fried in oil at the time of that holiday. So jelly donuts qualify, latkes, which aren't a baked good, so they're not in this book, but qualify as well. And this is a very traditional dish to make around Hanukkah. So I decided to dive in and make some of the Sufganiyot from this book. And just a quick thanks to Beth Lee for sending me a copy of this to check out. So I just started out by making the individual dough rounds here. You basically are making a yeast dough and then letting it proof and rise twice. You're cutting it into these nice little rounds. So that's all done here. These are looking really nice and well risen there with the yeast. It's a little bit sweet, not too sweet. And you can see we've got these little individual rounds spaced out here. It takes about an hour and a half. So now we're going to put our oil into the pot. You need about 2 inches of oil. I'm just using a vegetable oil here. And we're going to get that up to temperature. It's about 350 degrees that we're going for here on the stovetop. You can also bake the donuts, but I think frying is better. Go ahead and grab these nice little puffed up pieces of dough. And we're just going to drop them into our hot oil. I did 3 at a time in this pot. And then you're going to flip them partway through the cooking. And you don't want to let them sit for too long. You want to have some paper towels ready to drop them onto. So there we go after frying on that side. These are a little bit more well done than I think I probably ideally would have done, but looking nice and golden brown there. Usually your first attempt is going to be maybe a little overdone, and that was the case here for me. So let's throw a bit more in there, and we'll see how it goes the second time. So you can see this is working out much better. This is really the color that you want. Nice and puffed up, nice and fried, nice golden brown. Fish them out of the oil, and again, drop them on those paper towels to start to kind of dry out a little bit. So we're going to repeat that and fry all of our Sufganiyot. And now these are just nice, again, golden brown, oily, delicious donuts. But we're going to do a couple more things with them. So here's the whole set. You can see the ones that aren't quite perfect, the ones that I think are kind of perfect. All of them are going to be delicious. And we just take a bag of sugar. This is granulated sugar. We're going to take each of those donuts and drop it into the sugar and just kind of move it around like this. And that's going to coat the outside of it in that granulated powdered sugar. That's very classic. You don't want to do the confectioner's sugar. You want to go for the granulated sugar to get the classic look. So the final part, we're going to fill these. It's a jelly donut. So we're going to take either a pastry bag, or I just cut the edge off of a Ziploc bag. We're going to take the jam of our choice. You want it to be seedless, so I use some seedless Smucker's jam here. Fill up that bag, and then we're going to cut with a paring knife little 1-inch slits in these donuts to open them up. Squeeze them, open it up. We're going to put that bag in there and squeeze some of the jelly in. You can also cheat and just use a spoon. And there we go. There's that Sufganiyot. Beautifully fried and sugary, and got the jelly inside. And there's our platter. You can see all these are loaded up. It's okay if it seeps out a bit, and we are ready to celebrate Hanukkah with these Sufganiyot. In an ideal world, you do want to eat them right away. They're best that way, but you can also let them sit for a couple hours. Okay, so I'm back outside. It's a little bit later, and after making these, and now the moment of truth. Let's actually taste one of these Sufganiyot. Delicious. They're not too sweet. It's got that nice kind of yeasty donut flavor to it. You can see the pocket in there of the jam worked out perfectly. Really got that kind of full jelly donut effect. I think these look pretty much like they should here. And these are going to make a great item to add for my Hanukkah celebration. So that's just one of the delicious recipes in the Essential Jewish Baking Cookbook. And there's 49 more. So thank you to Beth for sending this along to me to check out. And I can't wait to cook more of the delicious dishes from this book.